Are we rolling?
Ever rolling.
Yeah.
Coffee
We got
Press.
coffee.
At Coffee Press.
Coffee
Hey.
Press. Mod Coffee House. They didn't sponsor us because we had to buy it. But still, if somebody from Mod sees this,
Hey, you know, give
Throw
me
us.
maybe a free Rice Krispie treat
right.
or coffee.
We promise not to reach under the glass.
That's a good point too. That was a very confusing message, by the way.
How do you get it? You don't.
No, it was
All
weird.
these coffees stacking up on the counter because the glass is the border, right? It's like,
That was a
Can't get
great photo op right there.
Right.
I'll post it later on. So.
But yeah, man, I dislike the hiatus we had to take.
Yeah, a couple
since
of weeks.
PT month, right?
Yeah, PT month back in October. It's
October, and it's already almost Christmas.
Christmas, yeah.
It's the last night of Hanukkah.
That's Hanukkah.
You know, there's some other holidays going on too. But yes, we had to take a little hiatus. We've had some changes in schedules,
Yep.
changes in scenery, if you will.
Yep. I'm
Right?
officially a Houstonian.
No longer a
Galveston resident, a BOI.
BOI, right? Or
No,
an
an
IBC.
Yo, F that out.
IBC.
I was an IBC, now I'm just an HBC.
Now you're just
Houston.
Houstoner by choice.
By choice.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you moved up there, and it's been pretty busy. You sold your property down here, and you know, it's life happens sometimes. But we have had people say, "Hey, are y'all done filming? You know, are y'all done
That's
with
it.
it?" It's like, well, not
No.
yet.
Oh no, Coffee Press continues.
Coffee Press lives on, right? But yeah, so physical therapy month.
So, concluding physical therapy. I don't know how much of that video got posted, but hey, let's transition to movement. I mean,
Right.
I think we'll just talk about what we were discussing earlier about just basic standards of movement. How,
Right.
like, you know, elderly or the sickly, if certain individuals can't move very effectively or walk fast or get off the ground independently, that's kind of correlated with mortality.
Right.
But where does it all start? From a physical therapist or training standpoint, or somebody's in medicine. I mean, you can see somebody, even as a child, I feel like, and you can just do a double take and be like, something's not right.
Something is off. And you know, you might not be able to tell what it is exactly, but that's where that screening or assessment
Exactly.
comes into play.
That's the whole process. You know, you gotta think about something being off. Is it like psychological, physiological? But even as a human, I think we lie to ourselves
Yeah.
about it times. And you know, sometimes we kind of avoid doing squats because they hurt your knees. You avoid running because it hurts your knees. You avoid playing basketball.
Right.
You avoid doing this and that. And then all of a sudden, 10 or 20 years later, in a different part of your life, some people start, you know, using the stairs.
Right.
They stop riding bicycles because they get dizzy and their balance isn't good.
Right.
Then another decade or two later, now they have trouble walking.
Right,
They
well,
have trouble getting off the floor.
Let me add
All
too,
that.
these are the ones who say getting old sucks. How many times have you heard
A
that?
lot. Several times a day.
I hear it a lot too,
Yeah.
man. Getting old sucks, you know? And it's like, man, does it though? Or is that your perception of getting old?
That's a tough
Like-
subject because, you know, there are kind of age-related changes that are appropriate, like, you know, arthritis,
Right.
changes to the vessels in the body with stenosis,
That happens.
arteries and veins, but
That
that's required.
happens.
But shouldn't we, that's a different subject from exercise, but it's truly like, that's just a part of life we should be preparing for and just
Right.
enjoy now. Whether you're a child, a teenager, you're not, you know, you're trying to get your first 200-pound bench press, don't worry, it's gonna come, don't force it, don't get
Right.
injured. Then later in life, in our age, you know, you get to your 20s and 30s and beyond, it's like, okay, how do I reduce body fat, but
Right.
stay muscular? Then the next phase is like, well, how do I exercise without pain?
Right.
Whatever phase of life that we're all in, there's gonna be an issue. We're not gonna be perfect.
Right.
That's kind of the biggest thing I kind of started noticing between our filming of Coffee Presses, you know, selling a house, you know, where are my priorities at? I wasn't
Right.
exercising.
Right now, we're
Yeah.
on priorities. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
how
we
am I
had
gonna
to
live
take
and
a
all
break
that.
from lifting, right?
All that stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Got away from all that. But that happens in all of our lives, but we're back to it. We're filming, get back to lifting.
Yeah.
But our problem is a lot of people don't get back to it, you know, whether it's, you know, medical,
Right.
psychological, sociological. So that's stuff we're going to cover in the future. But
Well, they don't get back to it, or they get back to it too much too soon.
Yeah.
Right? So what I like to talk to a lot of people that I deal with, you know, whether I'm training them or just having a conversation with them, right? microdose,
Yep.
right? You don't need, if you want to run, hey, maybe you had a joint replacement,
Sure.
maybe the doctor says you can't run, right? Don't run 20 miles right now. Maybe ride a bike. Do a different endurance activity.
Exactly.
You can find alternatives. You can find modifications to anything to an extent, right?
You gotta think like you're a triathlete. You're a good example because you did
Former triathlete.
Former triathlete.
It's been a while.
But it's still in your blood cells. It's
Right.
still somewhere.
Remember, on my truck, I took the triathlon
Oh,
sticker
yeah.
and I put a USAW right over it.
But you keep it real though, man.
Right.
Hey, that's your style.
Right.
But you gotta acknowledge that. And that's pretty impressive.
It's still there.
But you have enough flexibility in your thinking that like
Right.
if you can't lift weights or run, you can swim or bike.
Right.
And I think it's a little bit of pride on my part because I'm not like that. I'm like, I'm gonna just do land-based mammal work.
Right.
I'm gonna lift and run.
Right.
Or whenever I had knee pain, I mean, I felt like if I would have humbled down and realized swimming was hard and kept at it, that could have been a good thing I could have done when I had previous knee and back injuries.
You and I swam for a little
We
bit,
did,
man.
but it was humbling. It kicked my butt, and I didn't have that. I had a lot of pride,
Yeah.
and I think that's a
It
big
was
thing.
nighttime too at the
We
field
didn't have
house,
to worry.
right?
It wasn't too bad. It was,
I was
it was
like,
summertime.
man, I couldn't see
Not
you.
too
I was
bad,
like,
man.
is he
Bro.
subsurface
Dude,
right now?
man, like I was in the water a
Put
lot.
glow sticks on you, man.
Bro, I was just like, dog.
Pat, where'd you go, man?
Bro, it was a week, man.
Right, dude. Yeah, man. I guess the main thing is like people just need to move. They need to stay active, right? And find what you enjoy for one, but also do enough to where it's an adequate stimulus
Yep.
to get an adequate response, right? And we've talked about this before with the thresholds and everything, man.
Yep.
I mean, you can sit there and you can move, like I'm looking at my dumbbell rack behind the camera, and I've got 5s here all the way up to 85s, right? And you and I could easily jump on the 5s and knock out 1,000,000 repetitions with the 5s on whatever movement, right?
Yep.
And that's not even enough load to apply that mechanical stress, right? Much less metabolic stress, right?
Right.
Like we would literally have to do like 3 hours of work with a 5-pound.
You got it nonstop. Yeah.
Right? And that's the thing. You got to find what works for you, for that movement, for that phase. That's where training comes in.
Yep.
Right? It doesn't matter if you're training for a sport or training for life or whatever. You gotta do it. You gotta have some type of a plan.
Let's talk about training for life because you got to think about that too. You got to think about the weights right here. So there's like an 80, 100 pound weight over here. A lot of people are training through life walking around 80, 100 pound weights. And when they say they can't do stairs or run, fill up like activity, they need to be underloaded.
Right.
They need to be put in gravity eliminated, bicycle, swimming pool, maybe even exercise equipment. But that's a problem with a lot of people. There's too much pride. I mean, that's what I'm
Right.
encountering. But helping me grow as a physical therapist and my leadership skills with patients in the future because what I've been through even recently with the move and the stuff we talked about in the past, it's just that having that humble heart and understanding that it's okay not to be perfect. It's okay
Right.
not to know everything. It's okay to be in pain sometimes. But if you keep doing it, that's the problem right there.
Right.
And I think that's the pride that we all hold in our hearts that we're maybe not sharing.
Right.
That we're walking around with these 80-pound weights and you're saying your knees hurt and it's like, dog, why don't you go to 60 pounds?
Go to 60
and a lot of us can't.
today.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be permanent.
Yeah,
Right.
And since it's very unhealthy to lose 20 pounds in one day,
Right.
people go to jail for taking substances to do that. Don't do it. So what you want to do is lose it eventually, but you can unload yourself. Like I said, keep it moving. But there's a pride hit.
Right.
Or there's also logistics with COVID. A lot of pools are shut down, fancy gyms
Yeah.
are shut down. But that's why you have there's blogs and stuff online that maybe people can help you out with. But people overload themselves too much already. They need to be underloaded. And that's what sometimes we do with exercise prescription. It's not just always overloading. Sometimes underloading. You should overload eventually. But if people don't want to have the patience of taking a couple of months, maybe a year to get better.
Right.
And they just want the quick fix.
Right.
That ends up being a year, like a knee replacement, which
Yeah.
that's another story right there.
Yeah.
But you
We'll
understand.
talk about that too, right?
So just know that if you're having trouble moving around, like just look long term for the fix. And
Right.
if not, I mean, don't give up. Just keep trying. But you know it's not gonna get better in a day or a week.
There's no quick fix
There's no quick fix
for
getting better.
anything.
You can't, man. It's gonna
We
be
could make this a
Yeah.
deep conversation.
that's another
that,
subject
man,
for the
like,
future too. Yeah.
Right? And we think about like the perception of pain. We kind of talked about it in the car a little bit. We want to get our coffee, right? So like, how do we, like with my kids, right? If they're sprinting, they fall. How do we react?
Pain threshold,
right?
yeah.
Right? How do we react to that pain? It's very acute pain, right? If it's pain at all.
Sure.
He eats it, he gets up, he looks at me for
Validation.
validation, right?
Yep.
And my reaction is his perception, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, well, how is he about to perceive pain? How do I react? If I'm like, oh no! Yeah, he's gonna be like, oh no, and cry and be hurt, right?
It's basic like psychology, whether it's
Yeah.
like classical conditioning, operant, I forgot the different
Exactly.
types, but
Yeah,
it's just
yeah,
like,
all that other stuff, right?
when you kind of pair those responses, it's like whether it's that whole like childhood psychology that roots in adult psychology.
Right.
And some of those people have these chronic pain behaviors. They look into their parents or somebody for validation. It could be their society,
Right.
their cultural group, their physicians, their therapists
Exactly, yeah.
who validate their feelings. And we know that because in healthcare, I mean, we want to be customer service first. It's a problem
Yeah.
because that comes with a lot of excessive validation. And that's sometimes the worst thing for some of these patients, especially with pain.
Right.
Because they're just like that hurt child, like looking for, am I in real pain? Am I about to die?
Right.
Or I just have a central amplification in my
Right.
brain right now. Or am I having just a hyper emotional crisis due to the other stressors of my life?
Exactly.
Blah, blah, blah. And whether you're a psychologist, a PT, strength conditioning coach, whoever you are, that's beyond us. You gotta understand the human body and mind are so wired
Oh yeah.
from years of experience. Like, that's just like your child, like falling down. There's that
Yeah.
looking for validation happens several times a day.
Yes. Good fall.
Good fall. Yeah. You gotta check it out.
That was
It's the opposite.
awesome.
Yeah, I think it's like that. You know, remember that show Jackass on TV?
Yes, yes.
Johnny Knoxville. You had the complete opposite. You had some kids
Man.
that are like breaking bones and they're all
And they're like, yes.
and that's better, but it's not good.
That's a little excessive.
That's-
That's too much.
That's a different problem when you have to get that high of jumping
Right,
off,
right.
bungee jumping, and
Yeah.
but that's still sensitization. That's the brain perceiving something and needing more.
Right.
Whether somebody's addicted to exercise, addicted to a challenge,
Whatever.
But the opposite.
Yeah.
We said people they're addicted maybe to the attention of being in pain.
Yeah.
Addicted to the attention of not moving. Addicted to like somebody helping them out in that codependency.
That's good.
There's so much stuff going on.
Yes.
It's beyond professional training. This can go into like a Dr. Phil Oprah conversation.
Right,
This stuff
man.
is like deep when I think about it. But do you know that? I mean, that's just been the big thing I've been thinking about lately. Just how we perceive stressors in the body, not just with pain, but exercise and
Stress is
prescribing
stress,
that.
man, right?
Yeah. Stress
You
is
know,
stress.
And the endocrine system has its job to do.
Yep.
Whether you're lifting weights in a heavy training cycle, whatever, when you're doing change bands, if you're doing TheraBand, right?
Yep.
That could be within somebody's stress, their threshold, right? That could be stress for someone, I think about it, I don't know why I'm thinking about it, but you got that thing, it's like a motivational poster. Your warm up, my workout is your what is it?
Like
your warm up.
Your workout's my warm up.
Your workout is my warm up or whatever. Yeah.
Kind of obnoxious.
Silly. Yeah.
It's like
kind of silly, man. It's like, all right, that's too much.
It's funny. They
Right.
should get 100,000 likes.
But that's too. The pain is weakness leaving the body.
Repost, and it's like, no, that's been going on for 30, 40
Right,
years.
like,
that's a Marine Corps,
come
that's
on,
Marine
man.
Corps, slaves.
There's a lot of stuff that it's a little excessive. It's a little much, and it can be misinterpreted.
Yeah.
Right? Because then somebody again with that, if my workout was your warm up, I'm like, man, well now I need validation. I'm going to push myself harder.
Yeah.
Right?
It goes back to maybe the other concern in
Right.
life where we're under, we're insecure, we don't really have jobs, going through college and the military, trying to figure out who you are. And these are all
Right.
forms of validation of how strong you are.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. And that kind of like people overtrain, they take risks,
Yeah.
they don't warm up, they take
Well-
steroid, they do a lot of crap they don't need.
Right,
And they have different
right.
problems from the person who's like too scared to go up and down the stairs or, ask for help because their back hurts for 5 years.
Right.
It's not arthritis. You have pain and it can be addressed.
Right.
But if you don't want to get better, it's not going to get better.
Right.
If
You gotta want it, man. Yeah.
If you believe your injections 3 times a year are going to help, they're probably going to help.
Right.
Not for that long, but
Right.
they're going to help. But I mean, you're in full control of everything, whatever continuum of life you're in.
That's
And
real,
earlier or
man.
later in life. So
It's real talk, man. It's good stuff. It's
Yeah.
good stuff.
yeah, so Coffee Press will return in the next few weeks.
We'll return. We
2021.
return now.
Well, we have returned, yeah. Coffee Press has returned. We don't even wait till the new year. Don't wait till your New Year's resolutions. Do your right thing right now.
And again, Mod Coffee House. If you know anyone, hey,
the autofocus
send them our way.
and send the Rice Krispie treats. Coffee press.
Coffee press. Oh, Jeremiah isn't back
Is that there? What? We get up there and turn this off by ourselves?